UFC 305, a tale of tailor-made fights. Let's get right into it. Stuart Nickel versus Jesus Aguilar. I'm taking Stuart Nickel because I think he's a really good game plan fighter. He's going to shoot within a minute and probably finish that takedown. He's going to hunt for the ground and pound, probably find the rear naked choke within the first or second round. Now, I can see Aguilar cracking Stuart. I can see Aguilar pulling his signature guillotine, but this is the first man to fight out of the Solomon Islands, and I think he's going to have a nation behind him. I can see the fight going longer, potentially a decision, but I think outside of the big moments Aguilar may have, Stuart Nickel will dominate and probably neutralise and finish Jesus Aguilar by rear naked choke. Song Kenan versus Ricky Glenn. I would honestly feel foolish breaking this down seriously. I'm taking Song Kenan to win whatever way he wants. In saying that, the loser of this fight should be cut from the organisation. Let's go China. Let's go Song Kenan. Realistically, he should KO Ricky Glenn, but the odds on decision are quite meaty. He should knock him out in the first round. Tom Nolan versus Alex Reyes. I'm taking Tom Nolan by first round KO. The Chinny Reyes memes will just be like rampant all over Instagram. Tom's fighting in front of his home fans against cannon fodder. I was extremely disappointed with his performance against Mata. I bet a lot of money on him, and I just could tell from the opening bell that he was not going to win. And he really disappointed me, but it's Reyes. And, you know, if you bet hard on a Tom Nolan KO, he might get his first career sub. Regardless, Tom Nolan will finish this fight in round one. Most likely by knockout. That's what I'm going with. Jack Jenkins versus Herbert Burns. Again, I'm not here to waste your time. Unless Jack gets injured, he cannot lose. This is a lock. Burns should not be in the UFC, and Jack will probably knock him out. I can already see Herbert shelled up on the ground, just taking elbows to the guard until a mercy stoppage. So we might see a round 2 KO depending on Jack's patience. He might just respect the guard for whatever reason and kick the ankles of Herbert Burns while he's like lying on the ground. But a mullet and mustache in Australia, he's going to win. Luana Santos versus Casey O'Neill. Hey guys, Casey O'Neill's last win was Roxanne Modafferi by split decision 2 years ago. I'm taking Luana Santos. She's going to keep the momentum going. I hope she finishes Casey O'Neill. If she does, it'll be a submission most likely. But the decision is the smart play. I'm taking Luana Santos to win by unanimous decision. And the thing is, guys, if Casey O'Neill wins a unanimous decision on home soil, they'll still rob her. And rightfully so, because Luana is way hotter and far more marketable. Please, can we get a brutal head kick KO? Luana by decision is the pick. I will probably bet on a finish. Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker. I really want Tafa to knock this slug creature out cold. But my gut feeling is that Walter will just drunkenly rugby tackle Tafa, and it'll just look like no man has like improved their game whatsoever. And it's really up to Tafa to make this an exciting fight. But I think he's going to get dragged into the pits for 3 rounds of grueling half guard camping. I do not like putting money on Walter Walker whatsoever. But I think it's hard to say that he doesn't find a way to get this to the floor, and Junior Tafa will just lie on his back. So, will he finish him? Probably not. Let's say Walter Walker decision. Li Jingliang versus Carlos Prates. I keep picking people from fighting nerds to win, and every single time they have performed amazingly and done me justice. I'm going with the ambassador for cigarettes in combat sports, Mr. Carlos Prates. He could very well get stung by Lee. He could get double-legged in the first minute by Lee and just held down and dominated. But Prates has shown many times throughout his career that he can find a knockout at any second of the fight, whether it's the first minute of the first round or the last minute of the second or third. He can just find a knee, a body shot, one big right hand. You know, he could throw no head kicks all fight and just wait for that Leon Edwards moment. So I will be taking Carlos Prates by round 3 KO, but it will probably be a decision. I could definitely see Lee winning this fight. I think the odds are a little bit off, even though I'm very high on Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates' decision is a really smart bet, and I think that might be the pick, but he might be down on the scorecards, and he might be losing. And fighting nerds just know how to pull it out of the bag, so I'm thinking of a comeback KO in round 3 for Carlos Prates. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Usually in fights like these, I side with Biggie Boy, but I'm gonna spare you guys the 10-minute yapping segment of footwork, frames, posts, the underappreciated variety of kicks that Jairzinho has, because my gut feeling is as simple as Tai's game plan and motto. If I dink him, I sink him. And that's literally what I think is going to come down to. At least one more Tai Tuivasa round 1 KO in the last 10 seconds with a shoey for the crowd. I don't know. I just think it's written in the stars for one more Tai Tuivasa knockout. I would love to pick the better fighter in Rozenstruik, but I just can't. So give me Tai Tuivasa by round 1 KO. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Mateusz just finds a way to win no matter what. It's much smarter to side with him rather than against him. I think Gamrot's decision is the logical pick, but I can genuinely see Gamrot just trying to rip a sneaky Kimura or, like a knee bar out of nowhere. Similar to what he did to Jeremy Stephens, similar to what happened to Dan Hooker from Islam Makhachev. I will be betting on Mateusz Gamrot's sub, but when that happens, people get injured and it goes down as a knockout, so it's really hard to pick with Gamrot, but yeah, we'll say like submission or decision. Probably gonna lean that he finds a Kimura or a knee bar out of nowhere. Dan Hooker is in the Australian crowd, but I just don't think it'll be enough at this stage. But it'll be cool to see Dan Hooker get a knockout over this absolute cheeselord. Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. I think Steve's far better. Even the biggest Kai fan will tell you that you can blink as much as you want during his fights. He's going the distance, no matter what, unless his opponent puts him out. But in this case, Erceg's going to be setting him up all fight, making him walk onto shots, and Kai, in essence, is going to knock himself out. He will be well behind in the striking and will not be able to out-grapple Erceg, so it's up to him whether he wants to be a warrior or not. Will he go out in his shield, or will he accept the decision loss? I think Steve puts him out in round 3 with a nasty body shot to follow up shots afterwards, maybe more of a TKO. Dricus du Plessis versus Styles, the guy, the hot chick at the bar. Look, at the end of the day, DDP throws and hopes, Izzy aims and fires. I think that when Dricus tries to close the distance, Adesanya's going to show him where he's from. Dricus forgets all of his techniques as soon as the fight starts, whereas Izzy remembers everything, like an elephant. I think Adesanya will knock out DDP in round 1, just like he did to Derek Brunson. This is the pinnacle of tailor-made matchups on paper. Yes, Dricus will bum rush, and if he extends his combinations, he can catch Izzy retreating, and he'll be way more physical on the ground. But Styles is going to kick him in the face and send him to space. And that's facts.